Tino Livramento has already given Arsenal answer on potential Newcastle United exit. Tino Livramento continues to attract interest from the Premier League big boys. Tino Livramento previously insisted that he is placing noise about his future to one side amid reported Arsenal interest. The Gunners are the latest club linked with Livramento, who recently returned from injury. At the time of his chat with Newcastle World in November, it was Manchester City thought to be keeping tabs on the defender. Livramento has developed into an England international since joining Newcastle United in 2023. Capable of playing at left-back or right-back, the 23-year-old will have 2 years remaining on his Toon contract at the end of the season. Arsenal interest in Tino Livramento. The Sun claim Arsenal could make a bid for Livramento in the summer. By that point, the Gunners, sitting 6 points clear at the top of the table, may well be Premier League champions. Mikel Arteta is likely to keep his powder dry this month, given Arsenal's heavy outlay last summer. However, once the PSR deadline resets, expect them to be sniffing around the most in-demand targets. Tino Livramento on Newcastle United future. Speaking to Newcastle World, Tino Livramento stayed coy on his United future, refusing to outright commit to a possible extension. It is understood that the Magpies view a new deal as a priority to keep the likes of Arsenal at bay. That's nothing that I'm in control of. I leave that to my dad, to my agent. For me, I've been out for 7 weeks. I've been working really hard to come back and obviously help the team. I'm very happy with how I've played against Man City. That's my focus, staying where I'm at now. That's always been my focus, helping the team as much as I can. Ross Wilson confirms Tino Livramento priority. New sporting director Ross Wilson told supporters in December that Livramento's contract is of high importance. He said, "It's no secret at all that we would want to extend Tino's contract, and we would want to extend Sven Botman's contract too. Those discussions are ongoing. Some discussions are more difficult than others, but the desire would be to keep those players. Will they agree to those contracts? At the moment, I think it's too early to say." There were a number of Arsenal players who covered themselves in glory down south. Martinelli's 2 goals would have offered Arteta a glimmer of hope. Then White was solid, and Miles Merino enjoyed an all-action display in the middle of the park, but it was an afternoon to forget for Miles Lewis-Skelly. The academy graduate, who is still just 19 years of age, is no longer at the top of the pecking order for Arteta and his entourage, following a string of decent performances from Riccardo Calafiori. In 2025-26 alone, Lewis-Skelly, who is understandably admired as one of the best young players in world football, has played 22 times in all competitions. That, however, only equates to a total of 937 minutes, and his latest performance proves why he is no longer trusted by the Gunners staff to be their starting left back when all members of the backline are fit and available. His performance against Portsmouth was the most worrying of them all, as in the absence of Calafiori and Hincapi, the 6-cap England international flattered to deceive. Statistically, he took 61 touches, one of which was inside Portsmouth's box, and played 6 passes into the final third. Defensively, the young left back won just 40%, 2/5, of his ground duels and accrued 1 clearance across the 90 minutes on Portsmouth Park soil. As things stand, though, Arteta is having to deal with injuries to Hincapi, who is on loan for the season from Bayer Leverkusen, and his go-to left back in Calafiori. So what could be the tonic? Although he is primed to play on the right-hand side of Arsenal's back four, Jurrien Timber's defensive expertise could be used on the left instead, and Ben White, who started and played 90 minutes against Portsmouth, would fill in on the right. Up next for Arsenal, who are widely regarded as one of the biggest clubs to never win the Champions League, is a League Cup tie against fellow London club Chelsea, who are fresh off a 5-1 win over Charlton Athletic on Saturday evening. Arsenal fans concerned over Miles Lewis-Skelly's poor run of form. "I think it's time we have a conversation about Miles Lewis-Skelly," one said on X, formerly Twitter, regarding the performance of the Englishman, as another added that Arsenal could look to cash in over the summer if his overall form doesn't improve. Lewis-Skelly would need to buck his ideas up or he's gone in summer. He's been disgustingly bad, and his attitude looks stinking like he's huffing. Lewis-Skelly is miles off it. This ain't about him needing minutes. He's getting basic things like heading a ball wrong. Wingers are beating him easily. Something ain't right, a third fan wrote.
There is a sense of concern in the Emirates Stadium echo chamber about whether Lewis Skelly is up to the task of filling in for his injured teammates. Also referencing his 33-minute cameo against Liverpool, another fan added, "Something is wrong with that boy. He should fix it," a fifth supporter commented, as another claimed the youngster will need to buck up his ideas moving forward by writing, "Miles Lewis Skelly needs to have a long, hard conversation in the mirror after this game. He's been so disappointing." Mikel Arteta provides injury update on Piero Hincapié ahead of the Chelsea clash. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta has provided an injury update on defender Piero Hincapié ahead of the first leg of the Carabao semi-final against the Chelsea on the road. The Gunners returned to winning ways on Sunday with a 4-1 victory over Portsmouth in the FA Cup third round at Fratton Park. Hincapié was absent, having picked up a minor groin injury during the goalless Premier League draw against Liverpool in midweek. When asked for an update after yesterday's win, Arteta said that it is never a good sign after Hincapié had to come off. The Spaniard added that the 24-year-old's medical tests will arrive today, and hopefully he won't be out for long. He told Arsenal.com, "Probably tomorrow we'll know a little bit more where he's at. Obviously he had to come off against Liverpool, which is never a good sign, but hopefully it's not too much time out." Arsenal progressed to the fourth round of the FA Cup for the first time in 3 seasons. They will know their next opponents this evening. Meanwhile, the club's immediate focus will shift to the first leg of the League Cup semi-final against the Blues at Stamford Bridge on Wednesday. The Gunners travel to West London on Wednesday night. Arteta is expected to make several changes from the victory over Pompey. Kepa Arrizabalaga has been the cup goalkeeper. It is left to see whether he gets the nod over David Raya to face his former employers. Miles Lewis Skelly looks likely to retain his left-back spot, with Ricardo Calafiori yet to fully recover from a muscle injury last month. Gabriel Magalhaes obviously will continue in the heart of the defense, while Gabriel Martinelli could keep his place on the left wing. Arteta is known for rewarding strong displays. Martinelli could start over Leandro Trossard on the left wing after his maiden hat-trick. There could be changes elsewhere. Jurrien Timber, William Saliba, Martin Zubimendi, Martin Odegaard, Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka, and Victor Gyökeres are poised to return. Arsenal are widely regarded as one of the biggest clubs to never win the Champions League, are unbeaten in their previous 8 meetings against Chelsea, but there have been 3 draws in the last 5 games between the London rivals. It promises to be another closely fought affair on Wednesday. The Gunners need to turn up with a good showing before the return leg on February 3rd. Everton eyeing Arsenal's White, Monday's gossip. Everton eye a move for Arsenal's English defender Ben White, 28, to solve their problematic right-back issue. Footballinsider.external. Borussia Dortmund monitoring Oscar Bob's situation at Manchester City following the arrival of Ghana winger Antoine Semenyo, 26. Florian Plettenberg.external. Tottenham remain interested in a move for Atletico Madrid and England midfielder Conor Gallagher, despite Aston Villa being favourites to sign the 25-year-old. Teamtalk.external. Aston Villa are also showing an interest in Newcastle United's Danish forward William Osula, 22, after being dealt a blow in their pursuit of Real Madrid's Spain under-21 forward Gonzalo Garcia, 21. Liverpool and Chelsea have been impressed with Como's Spain under-21 centre-back Jacobo Ramon, with several other Premier League clubs also sending scouts to watch the 21-year-old. Caught offside.external. Paris FC are among the clubs keen on signing French winger Mathys Tel on loan this month, but Tottenham want the 20-year-old to stay. Fabrizio Romano.external. Tottenham sporting director Fabio Paratizi is set to leave the club for Serie A Fiorentina side after the January transfer window. France centre-back Diatop Upamecano, 27, is set to remain at Bayern Munich until 2031 after ruling out the option of joining Real Madrid on a free transfer this summer.